Kia ora, I'm Tanuva Majumdar, India Country Head for AJV Global, and today I welcome you all to AJV Career Talks, a webinar series that has been specially curated to provide valuable and useful information about studying in New Zealand with a view to fulfill career aspirations. Today, the topic of discussion is Careers in the Digital Age, brought to you in collaboration with the University of Waikato. Our esteemed guest panelists for today are Tanya Clark, Regional Manager for South Asia, University of Waikato, Dr. Gohar Khan, Senior Lecturer in Digital Business at the University of Waikato, Arun Jacob, Founder and CEO of AJV Global, Mary Joseph, Licensed Immigration Advisor at AJV Global, and Anish Awalkar, who is currently pursuing Masters of Digital Business at the University of Waikato. The University of Waikato is located in Hamilton in the North Island of New Zealand, about 120 kilometers from Auckland. The university delivers a world-class education and research portfolio and is among the top 500 universities in the world. Not only that, this university is committed to providing a full and dynamic university experience, distinctive in character, and pursuing strong international links to advance knowledge. Without further ado, I would like to request each of our panelists to give a brief introduction before we head into the Q&A session. Tanya, would you like to take the floor?
Sure, Tanuva. I'll just give a little bit of an outline on the Waikato University and our programs. So just starting, are you able to see that? Is that all clear?
Yes, Tanya.
Yeah, great. All right. I'll go through this quickly because I know we do have a very short session and a lot of information to get through. So as Tanuva said, I'm representing the Waikato University, which is in Hamilton in the North Island of New Zealand. So there's a quick little map there. So we're right up the top, about an hour and a half south of Auckland. I think the interesting thing, or the thing to note about New Zealand and to consider when you're thinking about what destinations to study in, is that New Zealand's response to the COVID-19 crisis was absolutely exceptional. And it means that we are now one of the safest countries in the world. And that has a lot of implications for international students, not least because it means that our economy hasn't really suffered in the way that a lot of other economies around the world have, because we're able to get back to business. We're able to focus on things like internal tourism, in domestic consumption is all back up to normal, and we're able to move on as per usual, although we are still waiting for everyone else to get it together so they can come over to New Zealand. So the other thing about New Zealand is that all New Zealand universities are ranked in the top 3% in the world, according to the most recent QS rankings. Most international students are eligible for a 3-year work visa after graduation. And as I said, we are a very safe country, the second safest country in the world, according to the 2020 Global Peace Index. And we do have a fantastic easygoing lifestyle. In terms of the university, we're ranked top 3rd in the world ranked universities according to QS, and we have a Triple Crown accredited business school. So that's the AACSB, Equus and Amber have all provided accreditation. We're located in Hamilton and only about an hour and a half away from New Zealand's largest city, which is in Auckland. Also, another good thing to note about New Zealand and to notice about Hamilton is that we are one of the less expensive cities, and also we are much less expensive than places like Auckland, Sydney and Melbourne. I'll probably just pass over this just because I think we are a little bit short of time. We do have a comprehensive university, so we offer programs throughout a whole range of disciplines. We are going to focus on the management school programs on this particular session, but we do offer a range of programs in a lot of different areas. One of our most popular programs is the Masters of Business and Management, which is the MBM program. There's a lot of MBM graduates you'll notice throughout Hamilton who've completed this fantastic program, and they all have really good things to say about the program. It's a 12-month intensive program. You'll cover all aspects of business and management. It includes a 1-month internship. And it's also very accessible. You can come in with a bachelor degree from any area. We are also offering a new program called a Master of Management, and you can do that in 2 different streams, either marketing or supply chain management. Once again, this is a conversion program, so you can come in with a bachelor degree from any area. It doesn't have to be related to marketing or to supply chain management. And we have the program that Gohar will talk a little bit more about, the Master of Digital Business. So I won't focus on that one too much because I'm sure you'll get plenty of information later. But this is one of the only digital business masters programs in New Zealand. It is a very unique program. And it also includes an internship in this program as well. We have a Bachelor of Business, which is fairly new. It's 3 years undergraduate degree, and it's a very comprehensive degree and offers a range of different majors. We also have, oops, I think we're missing. There is a video that I'll just play quickly. Hopefully you can hear it.
We actually can't hear it, Tanya.
So the audio is not coming through, Tanya.
Yeah.
Oh.
The audio is not coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No audio. There's no audio?
No, we can just see the visuals.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. I'm not sure how to fix that.
That's all right. We could probably just send the YouTube link to all our attendees separately. I think they'll be able to view it then.
Yeah, also the picture's freezing quite a bit. Tanya, your mic is on mute.
Sorry, we have a market manager who is in India. His name is Ashish Suri, and he's on WhatsApp, and that's his email there. And you can also contact me. I'm based in Hamilton. I'm also on WhatsApp, and that's my email there. Or you can call AJV, and they'll be more than happy to put you in touch with me as well.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for a very comprehensive introduction to University of Waikato. I now hand over to Mary, who will tell us a bit about herself. Mary.
Hi, I'm Mary Joseph. I'm a senior licensed immigration advisor with AJV. I've worked with AJV and the industry and promoting University of Waikato for about 15 years now. We have also had amazing number of graduates from the university, and they are all doing extremely well. And we've had really good feedback from our students as well. And we are very happy working and promoting with Waikato University.
Thanks, Mary. That was really nice and short. Arun, do you want to take the floor?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Arun Jacob, and I'm the founder director of AJV Global. We are a New Zealand-based company headquartered right here in Hamilton. I'm actually right now sitting only about 10 minutes away from the University of Waikato. It's been an absolute delight and pleasure to work with the university. Before we go any further, I know a lot of people will be wondering, what does Waikato mean? It is a beautiful Maori term, Wai meaning water and Kato means flowing. So when you put it together, it means flowing water, which is, we have this beautiful river flowing through Hamilton, which is New Zealand's largest city, and the university is named after it. As we come to the Q&A, we will talk more about it. But Lovely to be here, and I hope all of you enjoyed this webinar.
Thank you, Arun. Dr. Khan, over to you.
Hi guys, I'm Dr. Gohar. So do you want me to start the presentation so people can have some visual of what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Let me share my screen with you guys. Okay. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. So I thought maybe I will just give you an overview of the digital business fast, because there's a lot of confusion among students related to digital business and what does it entail. As you guys introduced me, I'm Dr. Gohar Khan. I'm a senior lecturer of digital business here at Waikato Management School, and I'm also convener for the digital business subject. So in today's presentation, I would like to answer briefly these three questions. The first one is to define what digital business is and what do you expect from studying digital business. And then I will try to talk a little bit more about the Masters of Digital Business at our uni. This is kind of one of the unique degree, as Tanya mentioned, and a lot of people from India come to study this in here. And then I will briefly discuss some career opportunities that you can have once you complete your degree. So let's get started. A lot of people think that digital business is about technologies, but I want you to just take away this from this presentation, that digital business is not about technologies. It is more than that. So it is more about transforming your customer experiences and generating new business models and revenue models for your business. So you could certainly say that digital business is a process of radically transforming organizational culture, processes, structures, technology, people, and services through the use of technology. So technology is there, but it's not the starting point. So when you approach digital business at Waikato Uni, don't think it as a technical degree. It is not a technical degree, so we approach digital business from a management perspective. That's why we say that, so here's a definition that you can just relate to later on. In digital business, we want to teach you guys that it's not just about technology, but it's a strategic new way of thinking. It requires upgrading your IT infrastructure. It requires upgrading your business thinking more than your IT infrastructure. So you need to come with that mindset when you are studying digital business from a strategic business point of view, and then using technologies to transform your existing business models in customer experience point of view. So this is just a little bit, and then of course there are different drivers of digital business, including these ABCD technologies. Then we also discuss these technologies and how these technologies could be used to drive your digital business transformation, such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, and data analytics. So now a little bit more about the Masters of Digital Business at our uni. There's a lot to talk about, but I could only mention some of the most important aspects of our master's degree in here in Waikato Uni. Our degrees essentially offers a lot more different experience than what you will get in other unis. For example, we also have, apart from learning theories about digital business, we also have this internship opportunities where students go into the industry and then they try to implement what they have learned throughout their lectures, and so they implement them practically through internships and other activities with the industry. And sometimes you also work on a research project that is part of your degree to prepare you for your future studies or for future jobs. And in terms of the career opportunities, so I was just looking around on the website, and I thought maybe if you guys are interested, you could just go ahead and look at this link, which offers kind of glance into what is available in New Zealand in terms of digital business jobs. But you could be looking for opportunities such as digital transformation manager or digital business manager, digitization manager, such as you could also be looking into digital marketing specialists, or sometimes social media managers, e-commerce managers, and many more. So I will suggest you guys to just go to seek.co.nz and look for digital business related opportunities, and you will see there's many opportunities available for people who have digital business skills. So here's a little bit more about our graduates. Some profiles are for graduates. So these are the guys who have went from here and then they went to different places in different roles. So you could certainly see that people such as marketing specialists and digitization managers and digital and marketing specialists and many more. So these are some of the roles that our students take in the industry, especially in New Zealand, including Hamilton and Waikato and Auckland. So these are some of the companies who are interested in looking in taking our students. So if you are, maybe you're not aware of New Zealand's industry, but Frontiera is a big company, it's a dairy company, and then we have here New Zealand. ANZ is a bank. The warehouse is more, is a kind of, I'm not sure what could be the example of a warehouse in the case of India. It's kind of big grocery shops, you can say, Cisco and many others. So these people are particularly looking for our students all the time, especially digital business students. So I think this was just a brief introduction, as we do not have much time. So I will be happy to keep the discussion going on, and if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Thank you guys, and take care.
Thank you, Dr. Gohakad. I'm sure you'll have a lot more opportunity during the course of the session. I'm sure we'll have lots of questions where you can probably elaborate a little bit more about the digital business aspect of things. We have Anish as well with us. So Anish, do you want to give a brief introduction about yourself to the audience? Yeah. Anish, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Anish. I'm a student at University of Waikato and I'm studying Master of Digital Business. I'm my second trimester now, and I've spent around 6 months in New Zealand so far. And yeah, I mean, it's been really tough initially to get used to the different lifestyle, different student life, to be honest. But eventually, it really gets easier as soon as you get into the field and then move around your comfort zone, and then things start getting really shaping up for you. So that's what has happened for me, and I'm pretty much comfortably placed at some part-time jobs, and somehow the other way I'm keeping myself busy and at the same time finding myself comfortable with the course right now. So that's all from my side. If you I'll pass on this to Arun.
Great. Thank you, Anish. Thank you for your introduction. I'm sure you can tell us more about your experiences as we go through the session. We already have a few questions lined up, so we can get into the Q&A session right away. I'll just put the first question here, and I think it's...
Tanawa, if I may quickly, sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to also welcome Jason Matangi, who is with us. He is as one of the panelists. And hey, Jason, good to see you after a long time.
Hello, how are you doing?
Jason is Director of Global Engagement and Development at the University of Waikato, so warm welcome to him as well.
Thanks, Aaron. I've been working in the India market for over 20 years, so it's terrific to be involved today, and we welcome the questions. Look forward to providing some answers for you.
Okay, welcome aboard, Jason. And probably here is a question that either Jason or Tanya, for Jason or Tanya, says, it's from Anand Mishra, who says, I'm planning for MBA. Why advantage will I get if I choose New Zealand? How is placement records? I guess he wants to know what is the advantage of pursuing an MBA from New Zealand.
I can jump in there, and Tanya can add some notes. I think number one was outlined very well at the start by Tanya, that currently New Zealand has the best response, we hope, to COVID. We're not resting on our laurels, I think, so we'll be one of the first, if not the first country to welcome international students into the country. Number two, all MBA students receive a placement, assistance with a placement while they study. Number three, you can also receive up to 3 years post-study work rights after you study as well, so that's quite generous, especially outside of the centre of Auckland. So, and I think the job market, the projections for unemployment are much lower in terms of the increase than we projected previously as a response to COVID. So I think you can see what's happened. I don't want to cast aspersions on my friends in Australia. I used to work at Deakin University in Victoria, so I have a lot of sympathy for what's going on there, but I think Australia will take a lot longer to come out of this experience than we will. So I think at the moment the conditions are good, but I would say, look, whatever decision you make is the best one. But also we're a Triple Crown university, which means we have 3 accreditations, Amber accreditation, AA CSB and EQUIS as well, which is quite rare. Only about 1% of the world's business schools has Triple Crown accreditation. So I think in terms of quality, safety, health and safety, and also transition to employment, I think the conditions are very good.
Thanks, Jason. This next question is from Zartaj Fatima. I want to take admission in PhD management. What is the process?
We have quite a, sorry, I'll step in and answer that one. We do have quite a comprehensive process for selecting PhD applicants and doctoral scholarships that go with that. Probably the best thing to do would be to get in touch with me directly, and I can provide you with an outline of the steps and all the documentation that you need to provide. There is deadlines. We assess applications as a batch, so there are deadlines, and there are quite a lot of different there's references, there's supplementary forms, there's research outlines that need to be submitted. So it's probably best to just contact me directly, and I can provide you with all of the information that you need.
Thanks, Tanya. Thanks for that. Salman Khan asks the next question, and that is, any scholarships for students in geophysics?
I'm not sure that we specifically have any scholarships in geophysics. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure that we have geophysics, but we do have things like geo information systems in the computer science faculty, and we do have a scholarship called the International Excellence Scholarship. That scholarship's available to all students who have achieved a credit or B+ average in their previous qualification. It's a discount or a fee waiver where we offer students between 5,000 to 10,000 New Zealand dollars, which they can is credited towards their first year tuition fees. So that's the International Excellence Scholarship. Students can apply for that through the My Waikato application portal.
I think another thing I would add is that if students commence their studies online, then we are open, and we have been granting consideration on those fees, because we understand you're not in the country yet. So that's something that we would consider as well.
Yeah. So we have 4 programs that we're offering blended learning style. We have been offering a 20% discount on those programs, and in C trimester we hope to have a list of programs that we'll be offering in C trimester for students to commence online, and there will be a 20% discount off of each of the papers, as well as a $2,000 travel grant for when students can actually travel to New Zealand to pursue the remainder of the program face-to-face. So yes, there is quite a generous discount there.
Great. Thanks, Tanya and Jason. The next one is from Idris. Says, hi sir, is this program suitable for experienced professionals? Something perhaps Dr. Khan can answer for us. Dr. Khan, could you unmute yourself, please?
And because I was having some other, I was reading the comments and I couldn't hear it.
Sure.
Can you?
Is this program suitable for experienced professionals?
A digital business?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. If I experienced professionals want to upgrade their skills and you want to come into management of digital business, of course, why not? Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Dr. Khan. The next question I think is more suitable for either Arun or Mary to take up, which is from CK Singh. Sir, I'm a mechanical engineer with 6 years of working experience in steel sector. I am from India. Will it be good for me to switch to management?
Right. As a mechanical engineer, you are already in the long-term skill shortage list for New Zealand. However, if you have experience being in senior positions and management roles or you would like to get into roles which involve project management and things like that, then yes, it is good to switch. So if you've got experience already in entry levels and you think that you will need to gain some kind of management skills, that's when doing a management program is good. You don't have to switch. You can still be an engineer while having managerial skills. That will enhance your profile in the market because New Zealand does need engineers at various levels and roles and experience. So it really depends on what your career interests are.
And if I may add, the University of Waikato has got fantastic business schools as well as engineering schools. So, you know, potentially you could be looking at upskilling yourself either on your engineering side or on the management side at the University of Waikato. So that's something else to consider as well.
Great. Thanks for that, guys. The next question is from Sajitha Sahadevan. She's asked, a student with computer engineering background, but has never worked in IT. He has got certification done for digital marketing and he is working as a digital marketer. Work experience of 1 year. Is he eligible for masters in digital business? Dr. Khan, some directing to you.
Well, I need to look at the exact requirements, but I see, yeah, I think I do not see any problem if he has a lot of experience in computer science. Computer science people really find this much more interesting and easy. As I said, they have this technical knowledge, but they come and apply this management knowledge then, so they can capitalize on their technical knowledge and then learn some management knowledge related to technologies. And I myself have a master's in computer science, and then I came to my management field. So you got a more leverage when you have a technical knowledge. So you have much more leverage as compared to other people who do not have technical knowledge and they come to the management, digital business especially.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Khan. The next one's from somebody called Shashank, who asks, can correspondence degree in BCom with 50% be eligible for postgraduate diploma in business or business analytics? I guess that's a question for you, Jason.
Potentially. I think we look at the grade average, actually. I think it would be worth an application. I think the first answer is anyone can receive an offer. It just depends on what the program is for. So I think make the application. I think if we saw the documentation, the previous study, etc., then we can make a better informed decision. But I think if the postgraduate diploma was not an option, we would be able to provide another option for that student. So I think there are many different pathways, and also we may find that there's a more suitable pathway. So I think the best thing to do is to talk to AJV around the options and get that right advice, because there is always an option for students.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, I'll just just to interrupt. That is something I have noticed about Waikato is they really reject an application. They'll always look for a pathway and a better option if someone doesn't quite fit with the program they've applied for. So yeah, I would just strongly encourage to submit an application and we'll see what we can do with it.
That's good.
Yeah. The next one is from an anonymous attendee who wants to know, for the Masters of Teaching program, is it necessary for the student to have a teaching background via academics or work experience?
That's I'm not sure if that program has been approved yet. That is a program that is still subject to QAP approval. We did offer it previously, and there was no requirement for people to have a teaching background. But I'm not 100% sure of what the new program will look like. Yeah.
There is a new option called the Master of Educational Management, and currently it's only offered part-time, but it will in the future be offered full-time. It is best suited for people with experience, I must say, the educational management one. There's also another option, educational leadership as well, for people who are quite senior leaders within education. So those two options do require experience within the educational management leadership field. Teaching per se, I think we would have to revisit that, I'm afraid, and it may not be an option at this stage.
Thank you. The next one is from Dr. Shailendra Singh Kushwaha, who wants to know if online courses are available in the education field. I think Tanya or Jason, either one of you.
Yeah, we did offer the Master of Education. We did have a couple of students start that in July as an online program, and they'll be looking to come and study face to face once the borders open. I haven't had that confirmation yet for November, so I can't give an answer on that just yet.
Great. Thank you. I think another question related to online courses here, Tanya, which is from Anurag Mittal, and he's posted this on our Facebook page. Are there any online courses that one can pursue from University of Waikato in areas of compliance, accounting, finance, audit, taxation, or reporting? Do you want me to repeat that?
No, I think I understand the question. I'm not aware of so the next intake we have is November, and that is the intake that we're looking to try to get some offerings for online, but I don't have a comprehensive list. When we are aware of which programs we will be able to offer online, we will post it on the front page of our website. So you'll just be able to go directly to the website, and there'll be on the front page, there'll be, November intake online courses, and it'll be very clear there. You'll be able to get that information through there. We are hoping to have that confirmed over the next week or so.
Thanks, Tanya. The next one from...
I'm not sure about the other subjects, but as for digital business is concerned, Masters of Digital Business can be taken 100% online option. So
great.
Can be taken from anywhere.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Next question from Ishan Oliver, who asks, what are the prospects of taking up this course for someone who has 7 years of experience and an MBA from India already? Dr. Khan, I'm sure he's asking about the digital business, Masters in Digital Business.
You're on mute, Gauhar.
Yeah, sorry about that. So the basic requirements for Masters of Digital Business, there are two types of streams, like 180 points, which is if you have a bachelor's if you have a bachelor degree in any field such as communication, management, information technology, or computer science, so you are eligible for that. But there's also some minimum grade requirements such as B- grade. So this is the best requirement. If this person has done a bachelor's degree and has a B- grade in that, I think he will be able to qualify for the degree, the Master of Digital Business.
I guess Ishan would also like to know what are the prospects, like would he stand at any greater advantage as compared to the others who probably take up this course because of the 7 years of experience and the MBA?
Yes, of course, experience always counts. So when you're applying for jobs, apart from your qualification, they will also always look for experience. So
Great.
if you have an experience, you have a much more better chance of getting a job rather than the one who are fresh graduate and do not have any experience.
Great. Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Han. So Mary, this is a follow-up question from Mr. C.K. Singh, who wants to know which stream would suit me best according to my job experience and educational background.
Well, we will have to have a chat with you to understand further, really. I mean, these kind of things it defines your future here in New Zealand and your chances of settling down. So I know you want to come and study to settle down eventually. So we will need to have a one-on-one discussion, and it's maybe this platform is not the best place for that. We'll have a proper chat, and we've got a big team of advisors who will be able to take you through this entire discussion. So just stay tuned, and after the session, we will connect with you and discuss one-on-one. Thank you.
I think, Mary, that just to reiterate, that is very prudent, and it is a life decision. These are turning points in your life, and you've got to make the right decision to be very well informed with all the different issues around the study, the visa, the living, whatnot. So I think the value of having all of us involved in this webinar is that you're getting part of the information, that you've really got to take some stock and step back. It's not the sort of thing you want to rush into, but get the right advice, and ultimately whatever decision you make will be the right one. It does tend to work out that way. So.
Well said, Jason.
Well said, Jason. Mr. Gurpreet Singh, who wants to know the scope of accounting in New Zealand and part-time jobs during the study in the current scenario. Looking to know the scope of both in future state, or is any government notification or study published in this regard?
Well, I can make a few comments on that, because I work with the strategic engagement team within the Waikato Management School, the Division of Management, and I think we work quite closely. We call it the Big Four. There are 4 large accounting firms in New Zealand: KPMG, PwC, etc. It is true to say that there is disruption occurring in the accounting field. There is you can understand the future 5 or 10 years in the future. There is a software will take over some of the roles, not all of the roles. So I think what I believe that the future of accounting will move into is more around the analytics side. And so there will be a place, it's still an ongoing place for people. We're still looking for very highly prized graduates. But during the programs, we do place people in internships with these Big Four companies. It can be quite competitive. It's not that everyone gets placed there, but we do have close relationships with these companies. But it is an evolving field. But we have a Master of Professional Accounting for people who don't have a background in accounting, who come to us from some other field. So again, there's an open entry pathway to accounting through the Waikato Management School as well. So I think, again, it's about being informed. There is disruption happening all across different skill sets. So I think, or different career sets. So the roles in 10 years' time will be different to what we're doing now. But I do think we do have strong connections with the accounting firms, and it is a strong focus of the Waikato Management School.
For that reason, we have a question from Brad who says, could we apply for MARC in New Zealand now, or after this pandemic finish, like after 1 year?
You can apply now. We have plenty of applications coming in now, for a trimester. Yep.
And it's not, if you're applying now for November or for the next year's start in March, and you decide to defer, it's quite free to defer. It is not binding. So if you receive an offer, you have all the power. So if you wanted to defer that to another time, that's fine. There is no contract, there's no deposit to be paid. So I think you do have a lot of flexibility with that. I think the advantage potentially of starting now is that you don't have to enroll full time. You could enroll part time. You can sit in the comfort of your home and save some costs off the study. It will still count, obviously, towards your program. But again, it's up to your individual circumstances. And I think watch this space. But I think if any country, again, is best placed to sort of reopen eventually, then it would be New Zealand and some of our neighbours as well.
Yeah, and if I may add to that quickly, while we are all in this wait and watch mode, wondering when countries will open their borders, New Zealand included, nothing stops you from going ahead and making an application, because all of us here in New Zealand are back at work. We are, absolutely back to a normal state. The University of Waikato is processing applications, and you have absolutely nothing to lose, as Jason said, to be prepared and get your seat in place, and you're in control. And if at all the borders do not open or the intake gets deferred, you could also defer. So my sincere suggestion to all of you is the admission, visa, and coming into the country is a long process. Do not wait, for some news. Just get started, and that's how you also stay ahead of the queue as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely spot on. I think the visa process, quite often students apply for bank loans, that sort of process, that'll take a long time.
Yeah.
We sometimes take a little bit of time as well. We go as fast as we can, but yeah. So as soon as you can, there's nothing wrong with applying sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
One thing that I want to add here is that although New Zealand is open, we are still operating in online mode. So we have a lot of students who are abroad right now, in China especially, and we are trying to teach them online. So everything, so we have slightly, not slightly, I think we have transformed the way we teach this semester from face-to-face into online. So even the students who are in New Zealand, they're studying online right now. Apart from some tutorials and other things that they come to for face-to-face. So we have that flexibility to continue our teaching and learning online as well.
Right.
So I guess what everyone is trying to say is that if you're really serious about doing that course, it's best that you apply now, stay ahead of the game, rather than race against time when you really finally decide and when the borders open, because everyone will be doing the same. So it's a more intelligent decision probably to start the process right away. Thanks, guys. Srinivasan wants to know the fee structure. Left the question quite vague, but Tanya, if you could just explain what the sort of fee structure is, I guess generically speaking, that could help our audience as well.
Yeah, so for usually for a two trimester program or 120 points, you're looking at around about 35 to 38,000 New Zealand dollars. For Master of Digital Business, it's a 180 point program. So that would be another 6 months on top of there. So you're usually looking at around about 45,000, 46,000 New Zealand dollars.
Thanks, Tanya. Himanshu Kumar Yadav wants to know, what is the scope of forensic science? Anyone?
Tanya. Thank you, Tanya.
Oh, goodness. I think forensic science you can probably get into from any area of something like biology, chemistry, all of the programs that we do offer at the university. I believe forensic science is quite a niche area. So I think that you're probably best placed doing a much more general qualification, like maybe a general science degree, where you will have a backup option if there are not too many jobs in forensic science, because I think it is probably quite a small field, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, correct.
Mary, would you like to add something to that?
I'll actually, back up with what Tanya just said. Yes, it is a very, very niche industry. We don't see a lot of jobs. The crime rate's low, so forensics is not required much here in New Zealand. So,
that's a good point.
Together, but yeah, because that's where mostly forensics is used in the current age. If you see, it's more towards crime. But yes, we do have I think just one course somewhere is available, but it's a very, very elite program with one of the universities. It's very hard to get in as well. So as Tanya said, it's better to have a wider. So if you've got a background in say food technology, biotechnology, or general sciences, you've got various other areas that you can study. You can do the PG diploma and the masters in science at the University of Waikato, which also gives you various other specializations. And you can pick and choose. If you've already done forensics, learn something else. It'll widen your scope of finding a job here in New Zealand. Yeah.
Thanks, Mary. Mr. Anurag Bose wants to know, what kind of support can we expect from the university in terms of securing an internship? also would like to know a little more about the research paper we need to do during the program. This is specifically related to the Master of Digital Business program. So, Dr. Khan.
Yes, I'm sure related to the support, somebody else will, maybe Tanya will answer. But in terms of the research paper that is included in digital business, it's more about applied research. So you will learn about applied research methods in writing reports related to that project. So it's not like the traditional conventional research which you do at a PhD level. It's more about applied research methods paper.
Tanya, could you just add about support?
So for the Master of Digital Business, there is an internship provided in that program. So if you pursue that program, then you would be able to do an internship as part of that program. The university itself also has services. We have a careers service who provide workshops and information sessions. They have Immigration New Zealand will come on campus and give information sessions to students about the visas. They also hold weekly sessions where employers come on campus and give presentations to students, so employers from particular industries. We also have a program called the Employability Plus program, and that is where we connect students with volunteer organisations, internship organisations and community organisations, so they can develop some work experience which they can put on their resume as well, and they'll also be given a transcript for that too. So that will become an official record with the university.
Niran Maharjan says, I'm from Nepal. I am MBA student and work in advertising agency. Due to this virus, I feel like my job is in danger. And is the MBA degree sufficient for this new age competition? And what can I take training for further success in my life and career? Mary, do you want to answer this one?
Niranjan, if you already have an MBA, technically you are, qualified. You're already there and probably prepared. However, I've been noticing that the job market when it comes to advertising and marketing is very different here in New Zealand. It's unlike, markets of Nepal and India. The marketing ideologies, concepts are very, very different. In fact, one of our own students is just graduated from the PhD diploma in marketing from Waikato University, and she's really someone with a couple of years of experience in this area. So if you've done a general MBA, you could possibly do a specific program like marketing or the digital business program, which will give you an edge over what you already have as skills. Okay. However, it's important to understand what are your requirements and what is your gap in your current profile. So we sit down and we talk to you about that. We try and understand where there's a gap, and we'll offer you a program that will help you bridge that gap, number one, and also have superior skills when it comes to the competition here in the market. Okay. It all will boil down to what you have and what you want to learn. So yeah, I think we will need to probe a little bit more, but when we do contact, we will assist you with that. Yeah.
Thanks, Mary. I think the next question is also probably better for you to answer, which is, are online courses valid, or are online course certificates valid for employment in New Zealand?
Okay. Now this is a very, I'd say, it's a yes or a no. There's a yes and no answer. So if you're asking me if I study online, will I get a post-study work visa? The answer is unfortunately no, because there is a requirement that you're required to study minimum of 30 weeks here in New Zealand to be able to be eligible for a post-study work visa. Hence, the programs that the university is offering is they're only offering 1 or 2 papers where you can still come and do 30 weeks here on shore in campus and still be eligible for a post-study work visa. However, generically speaking, if you're saying our certifications like Google HubSpot and all the other digital certifications that are required for employment, yes, those will be valid because those are certifications provided by XYZ supplier, which is recognized worldwide. So these are 2 different things. So if you're saying post-study work visa, as I said, 30 weeks minimum, But if it's about general certifications related to skills, then yes, they are valid here in New Zealand. When you go out there, look for jobs. Having certifications is one thing, but having the skills in reality is a different thing. So you will need to exhibit and show to the employers how do you have those skills and what you can bring to the table in terms of employment. That's how you will get a job here in New Zealand.
And also having the right visa, I suppose it's quite self-evident, is that, you know, I lived overseas for many years in Asia, and really I could have been PhD educated with $10 million in the bank, but it didn't really count for much if I didn't have the right visa. So obviously you're getting the visa for the purpose for which you're entering the country: tourism, student, work, etc. Yeah. So if you already have a qualification, then and you're not seeking to study, then and just seeking to work in the country, then it's far more difficult to get the visa. So I think coming through a study pathway is obviously more, is actually easier if you ultimately want to work in the country. So I think that study pathway gives you the entry as well as the benefits of post-study work.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Jason, and thanks, Mary. Utkarsh Raj wants to know, so you have a master's in new media. Not entirely sure what that means, but is there a master's course in any media sort of subjects?
We have a Masters of Media and Creative Technologies, so it sounds like it's probably fairly suitable for that program. Students need to usually have some good technical skills, and there's a few different majors. So there's screen studies, there's creative technologies, etc. So that would probably be the most appropriate program.
Great. Thanks, Tanya. Somebody called Augment Creation wants to know, what is the benefit of doing digital marketing? Dr. Goa Khan, do you want to take this one?
I'm not sure what type of benefits he's talking about in terms of
I guess the usual.
employment benefits. So I think it depends on your goals, what you want to get with it. If you are of course, digital marketing is really important topic these days, and a lot of companies are spending billions of dollars online to advertise their products and services through digital medias, including social media, Google, and many others. So if you are having that knowledge, you can have a much more better understanding of the industry, plus the tools and techniques that they use. And perhaps if companies are looking for people in the digital marketing space, you could be one of the potential targets. That's what I could say potentially.
Can I just add something? I know from firsthand experience that I have a number of colleagues in very senior positions who are getting upskilled quite quickly in digital media and digital business from the social media side. Yeah. But I think there's given the current COVID-19 environment, everybody has to rush online and is getting more and more up to skill in this area. And I think it becomes quite crowded. So I think you will have to be able to stand out amongst the crowd is becoming quite essential, I think. And you know, more and more people are making LinkedIn posts, etc. I mean, it's a very low level sort of area potentially, but I think the sophistication of everybody will increase. And I think people who have a depth of knowledge about it, studied to a certain degree, perhaps even a master's, then I think they will stand out from the crowd, because I think we can't expect that this type of situation will be the only situation in the next 5, 10, 15 years. These types of disruptions will occur. And I think currently and into the future, your ability to engage online and virtually will distinguish, and the way you do it, this is how skillful you are, will distinguish you out from everybody else, because it is utterly necessary now in the way we interact with the world.
Yeah. And one other point, if I may add, about this whole digital business courses in New Zealand, I think is, as a country, you know, I've been here since 2001, and now I'm a very proud New Zealander. As a country, from a very early stage in its development of its economy, New Zealand being a far-flung Pacific nation, which was kind of geographically cut off from the rest of the world, we actually had to reach out through other means to be able to kind of converse and transact with the rest of the world. And which is where digital business as a part of the overall economic psyche, I think, was inbuilt into us, because we couldn't just, you know, get into a car and drive across the border like how we can do from America to Canada, or, you know, some of the places across Europe. So learning digital business in New Zealand would probably also be very on point, because as a country, even today, geographically we are separated, so we have to reach out to the rest of the world. So I can't think of a better place than New Zealand, to be honest, because I think it's kind of inbuilt into our economic psyche as well.
Just a generic comment about digital business and not only digital marketing is that in future, all the businesses will be digital.
Yeah.
There will be hardly any business that will not be digital. They would have to be digital to survive, you know. So especially with COVID-19, you know, if a lot of businesses are trying to become digital, so they want to use digital technologies, including digital marketing. So of course, understanding digital business and all these other fields related to digital business, such as digital marketing, will certainly be an edge to anyone.
Just adding on that, in fact, automation is one thing which you have mentioned earlier. Automation and AI is something that a lot of businesses will have to. I in fact saw a video from Business Insider on Facebook that this guy had made this huge burger making machine, you know, end to end completely. It's made by a machine, and it seems to be being a big hit in Texas. So it looks like tomorrow you will not have waiters, you'll have all these machines that, you know, bring food to you. So it's best. Also, the internet penetration rate in New Zealand is very, very high.
Very high.
Every home in New Zealand has a computer. Everybody has access to internet. Even I know of a lot of people who are, 60 plus. They are also well versed with using the internet on the phone or laptop. So it is best, if you're coming to New Zealand, be prepared that you will need to have good knowledge of the digital side of things, no matter which area of work you belong to. Yeah.
Thank you, panelists. That was a very, very comprehensive answer. We've got 5 more minutes on this session, but I'm sure we can go about 15 more minutes over that. So I'm going to quickly start going through these questions. This is from Dinesh, who says, this is Dinesh from India. I'm an engineer aged 48 years and with 17 plus years of experience in production and marketing with Indian MNCs, namely Reliance Industries, Raymond, etc. Had taken a break since 2014 from professional establishments and pursued growth at personal capacity. Have now decided to go for higher studies in management from New Zealand University with plans for PR. One of the courses suggested by your AJV team India office is Masters of Management Marketing from University of Waikato. Would like to know, A, job prospects for the said course, B, campus placements, if any, scholarships, if any, for PR options, support of accommodation, scope for part-time job, and time required for admission process. So he's basically got 7 questions in one question. I think I'll just start with the first one, which is job prospects for masters in management marketing. Tanya, would you like to, or Tanya or Jason, actually, either one of you could throw some light on this.
Yeah,
I can start, but sorry, Jay. No, yeah, I think I was just about to say I could just give some general information, but Jason will probably be able to provide more detail. I think the Master of Management includes a management component, so it does open you up to quite a wide range of different positions, not necessarily just in marketing. You can go for management level positions as well. So I think that's probably important to note too, and it is a conversion qualification, so you can come over from another area. But yeah, Jason, if you want to provide a bit more detail.
No, I think you've covered it pretty well there. I think again, it's a fluid situation at the moment, right? I think the job prospects, you've got the time with the post-study work rights right now to look for that work. We're on the doorstep of the largest city in New Zealand, only an hour and a half away, which is basically rush hour traffic in Mumbai. Down a neighborhood. So I think, look, the job prospects are pretty comfortable. But again, you know, it's I think what you're studying and also the internship or whatever you're doing while you're studying as well will enable you to make those sorts of contacts. And I think it's a relatively new course. It's a pretty new course at the university. I think there'll be a lot of attention to students coming through that pathway. And there will be some focus on making sure people have some really good outcomes, especially transitioning into employment. So I think the prospects are quite good.
Okay, great. So are there campus placements with this course, Jason?
Well, on campus, Potentially, but I think most of the placements that happen are with local employers. New Zealand is very well known for having a large number of small, medium enterprises. These are companies which have 15, 10 employees. So I think, yes, there is an assurance around a placement within your study in terms of internship, and that was generally unpaid. But there's also the option to work part-time as well. So I think, but on campus, possibly not, because there are only a handful of opportunities for internships on campus.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason. Any scholarships that the university is offering for this course?
I think Tanya covered that really well before in terms of the general scholarships on offer, and also the fee reduction around online study, which needs to be updated, but I think you can look forward to that for the end of this year, beginning of next year. So I think if you're commencing studies online, then you can look forward to some sort of fee reduction.
Yeah, definitely. The International Excellence Scholarship is for face-to-face students. I know I should have clarified that before. So that's the we offer, but that's between $5,000 to $10,000 New Zealand dollars, which is credited to your account. But for online studies, we are also offering a 20% discount off of each of the papers that students do online, as well as a travel grant, a $2,000 travel grant to assist students when they do decide to travel. Yeah.
Also, what would be the time required for the admission process?
I usually recommend that students apply anywhere up to about 3 to 4 months before they actually start their program, just because it depends. Obviously, if it's an online program, there's no visa application process that you need to go through before you can start the course and then commence the visa application process. But for face-to-face study, I always recommend students start 3 to 4 months in advance of the start of their program. Yeah.
For the entire process, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any support for accommodation?
100%. If student requires support to be placed, 100%. Yeah, we will provide that support.
Thanks.
Yeah, we have on-campus accommodation. Yeah. So if students want to stay on campus, they can apply for the accommodation. Once they have an offer letter, they can submit an application for accommodation, and our accommodation office will place them in an appropriate facility on campus. So we have catered, self-catered facilities, flats, townhouses. We do have some accommodation for couples, although I understand that's full at the moment. But most of our accommodation is for single students.
What I would say though is it's rewarding to see Dinesh with his questions with a close age to me. It's great to see people, mature students, looking at their careers and getting into their second, third, fourth career and having that energy and that drive to make a change. I think it's really, really good, because typically we have students who are upwards of 30, 35, coming to the university. But this is good. This is good. Great to see.
Thank you. So the next couple of questions probably Mary or Arun can take up, which are the PR options after the Masters of Management Marketing and any scope for part-time jobs.
Well, I mean, in terms of part-time work, there is always plenty of opportunities, and you don't have to necessarily be doing part-time work that is directly relevant to your course that you're doing. So. And there have been some very interesting jobs that students take. One of my students used to work at the catering company at the airport, which packs those little, food packets that go onto the plane. And the benefit was that, it was a very well-paid part-time job. Plus, he would also get free food, so he loved it. But
chicken or fish? What would you like, the chicken or the fish?
Exactly. Yeah. And economy or business class, what do I eat lunch today? Anyway, so part-time jobs, I don't think there is much of trouble in terms of being able to get. But when it comes to the full-time work, and if you're looking at staying on, I mean, just bear in mind, if you're doing a master's, you will get a 3 years post-study work visa, which has got no conditions attached to it. So you could very well still be doing any kind of job that you like. But if you intend to crack your residence at some stage, then you will need to get a job that is relevant to the course that you have completed. And that is where someone like ourselves, AJV with myself, Mary, who is a licensed advisor, we're going to have 2 more licensed advisors here in New Zealand shortly. So we can sit and check to see what exactly is the job that you have procured and how relevant it is to the course that you have completed. And occurs, you would be able to successfully lodge your resident visa application. So in a nutshell, no problem with the part-time work, and you can pretty much do anything. No problem with the full-time as well, but to be able to reach up to the resident stage, you will need to find a job that's relevant. And if you're coming to the University of Waikato, you will get plenty of support from the university team. And also if you're coming to the University of Waikato through AGV, we will work with you as well and ensure that you're being advised the right way at each and every step of your journey.
Just to add as well that there are very good protections in New Zealand around protecting employees, people in the workforce. We have a minimum wage. I mean, you're looking at really a minimum of 1,000 rupees per hour. So it's 50 rupees for a New Zealand dollar, around $20 an hour or so. So you're looking at 1,000 rupees per hour. It's very hard to make that. You should look at the Big Mac exchange rate, but I think the return is not so bad. Look, you're never going to make a fortune part-time work, but it is, if you get the hours, 20 hours a week, it is sufficient to cover your expenses and maybe have a little bit left over as well. But I think obviously the main focus is the study. But we do encourage part-time work. I think what it does bring is it brings you into contact with New Zealanders more. You understand the working life, the social life. You get outside of your study area, and in some cases you're getting valuable experience maybe related to your study as well. So I think we do encourage it. We don't like to see it be the sole focus, but I think it's a really valuable part of the experience.
Not to forget the references that part-time work will provide for them when they go into the full-time work mode as well, Jason. And I think that's also very useful. And by and large, I'm not stating this because this is a University of Waikato session, but none of our students who have come to the University of Waikato have struggled to find either part-time or full-time work, and they're all doing extremely successful. In fact, I can proudly state that we have hired 2 of the graduates of the University of Waikato, and they now work full-time for AJV, and we are very proud about it. And I think the quality of the students that we are working with, and one of them is a graduate of the management school as well. So, we are very, very pleased with the quality of the output that comes from the university.
Okay, thanks, Arun. Thanks for that. It's an anonymous attendee asks, I have a question to ma'am. Not sure which ma'am is intended here.
Tanya.
That has to be Tanya.
Yes, we'll give it to Tanya.
Tanya ma'am.
Tanya ma'am, yes. Is online education and offline education same value?
I guess it depends on what you want to achieve, as Jason was pointing out before. So the online education is fantastic at the moment because there is no option to travel to New Zealand. So instead of waiting to get started and not doing anything in the meantime, it's a good idea to just get moving and to start doing something and preparing yourself for when the borders do open up and you can come and study face to face. If you do want to stay in New Zealand and be eligible for a post-study work visa and you want to work in New Zealand and get the New Zealand, the Kiwi experience, then obviously you do need to come to New Zealand to do that. And it's something I would highly recommend as someone who is from another country and has moved to New Zealand to live and to work. I do highly recommend that it is something that you do. So yeah, it really just depends on what you want to do. Both online and offline studies the value is high in terms of the educational content. So you are getting your education from the same lecturers, regardless of whether you're on campus or you're doing it online. We don't have different lecturers doing different things. They're both the University of Waikato qualified and employed lecturers. So there's no difference in terms of the quality of the educational experience. It's just more what you want to get out of it that makes a difference.
Thanks.
Maybe Anish could add a bit because he's here in New Zealand. He could tell us how
Yeah.
much of the existing course content is online, because I know that a lot of programs at a postgraduate level have very less face-to-face, work. Actually, it's mostly done online and background, study by the students. So Anish, if you can add a few more words on that.
Sure, Mary. So the best thing about this course, I could say, is it allows you some time to, take out of your study, go and try and apply whatever you're learning in the course. That's the beauty of this course that I can, think about right now. Because in the last trimester, even though I was like sitting at home because of the lockdown, I could reach out to uh, some volunteering organization, and there are so many organizations who are struggling to go digital. They have so much to achieve, but due to lack of skills, or maybe the situation they might have, or the budget they have is so limited that they want somebody who can help them out, and also give back something to the society and to the volunteer who is helping out, you know getting the job done for them. So that way you get experience, you get to apply the knowledge, and also eventually gain some New Zealand experience, because that is what is important here right now. So even though everything was closed down, I was able to get to these organizations. I could make some connections through them. This is what the best thing about this course is. It allows you enough time to plan your study, at the same time get the guidance from the university, and as well as you can explore whatever opportunities are available in the market right now. And the market is open, it's really flourishing for the digital business course.
Yeah.
Not looking at the course side, but looking at the future that looks very, very towards lean towards IT, and people with understanding of the functional area as well as digital area are going to be in demand. That's what
Absolutely.
my understanding is so far.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Good feedback. Thank you, Anish.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Anish. We've got a question from Jitin Prasad on our Facebook page, which says, also want to know if you have a one-year graduation diploma course in digital age. Tanya.
Yeah, so you can do both a graduate diploma in digital business, and you can do a postgraduate diploma in digital business. So that's a 1-year program.
Great. Thank you.
Right, cool.
I think this is the last question I'll take, which is from Saurabh Upadhyay, who says, what is the role of HR manager in the digital marketing? Okay. Mary?
Right. Now HR, I know for a fact that a lot of companies, the big size companies use SAP and a couple of other different tools to basically manage. However, New Zealand is relatively, I'd say it's not having too many HR roles. The only roles that you could see in the area of recruitment and human resources is being a recruiter. And there are only most of the companies that have an employee size of about 30 and above look for a HR person within the organization. So, and that size companies are much lesser than the small medium businesses that have only staff between 10 and 20. So, so the HR role as such is, I'd say it's a very tough role to get into, but if you do have experience in recruiting, it'll help. So digital business comes in with HR is when you need to know tools around SAP and other recruiting tools. So it'll be quite useful there. I hope I'm right on that, Jason.
I said a bit of myself. I think you've nailed it there. So look, I've got nothing further to add, but I think that's really good. It's a really good summary. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you to all the panelists. It was wonderful having all of you, and I'm sure our audience really got a lot of useful information from each one of you. And thank you to all the audience to actually take that time to view this webinar. We have
Absolutely.
got 40 odd questions more that we didn't have the time to get through in this session. But rest assured that our team will actually get back to you with answers. If we can answer it, we'll do that, or we can have Tanya or Jason or Dr. Khan or even Anish, answer those for you. And finally, as we've all discussed here, New Zealand is probably one of the safest and the most beautiful countries to go. So it is emerging as a favorite destination for students as well. If you have any queries, do not hesitate to call up the team at AJV Global. We're always there to help you. There was one question that somebody did ask is if we took any consultation fee for student visas. Please know that that's actually free for all students. So yeah, don't worry on that account. Don't let that stop you from contacting us. So we'll have our team contacting each one of you with a copy of or a recording of this webinar as well, and we'll answer the questions for you too. So thank you everybody. Have a lovely day ahead and lovely evening for my friends in New Zealand, and we'll see you shortly.